Well guys, here's a Wilmar spray rig, and it has got a hydrostatic main pump that is leaking everywhere. I know it's hard to see, but I can't tell whether it's a Sourdan. I don't think it's a Sourdan Foss the way the servos look. And it's got another gear pump, hydraulic pump, piggybacked on the end. So we gotta see, first thing is probably check charge or a case drain. The internal, as many places as it's leaking in, it might have an internal problem to where it's creating too much case drain to where it can't keep up with the case drain, can't keep up with it, and it's causing too much internal pressure and pushing all the oil out the seals. But yeah, this guy's got a little iron. There's a 6125M. There's a 6615. I don't think I've ever worked on that one. I've worked on a bunch of the 6715s. Look at there. There's an old 186. I thought that was that 186 hydro. That's a 986. It's an old 986. Another 6125M. 3032E. I think that's the one I had in 2 last year. Look at that old girl there. What is that? Old hydro there. 100. It's an old 100. Those are good old tractors. There's a 9320T. I think this is the one with the drawbar. Yeah, this one didn't have a hitch. And there's an old 75C. What's this one here? I think this is that old 186. This old sumbitch here. It's worn completely out. The engine is in it. There's an old 4020. Another 4020. 45 Challenger. So yeah, there's all kinds of iron here. And it's snowing again. Wonderful. I see the snow flying outside. And let's see here. Let's start taking panels off. We can find out where we can hook into this thing to test the case drain on it. See what the hell we got going on here. So pretty much this grill's gonna have to come off. How does that? That looks like that might fold up there, and there's a cooler there that's gonna have to. I'm gonna figure out how we're gonna get all this stuff out of here. At least they put a shutoff valve on the suction line. That is absolutely brilliant. Somebody had their head out of their ass. That's brilliant. Let's shut that off. Actually, let's fire it up and see what. I think I just take this grill off. Or is it part of the hood? And let me see what I got to do here. Let's put this up here. Okay. Now we can actually see something. What we're getting into here. I'd like to really find a place to test the case drain on this pump. I might fire this thing up. There's the tag on top of the pump. Now I can see what kind of pump it is. Out. Man, it is leaking everywhere. Just everywhere. This tank's gonna have to come off so I can lift it out. I'll pull the piggyback gear pump. Might as well dump the oil on this tank. This tank can't hold more than 15-20 gallons at the most. And I probably don't have that much in there anyway. It's probably all leaked out of it. I got a bucket tied to it there to keep it from dripping on the plants. But it needs to be resealed. I might just take it off, run it in a hydraulic shop, drop it off, tell them to reseal it. Some caps. Park right in the fucking way. Oh, fuck it. Dump the fucking oil on it anyway. always got to turn to. Okay. How much more shit is hooked to this tank? Cooler line, draw. Okay, there's another one underneath. Turn line. This line off here. Okay. There's a return line teed there. We pull that off. And then get the battery disconnect switch wired to that. Hopefully they're wiring it to the ground. Some people wire that battery. No, they're wiring it to the positive. That sucks. So we need to disconnect the battery, because we will arc right there. Pull the two sending units here off and unbolt the tank and pull it off. Out. D to D. see here. Is that something here? Yes. Back the hood over here. Off of here just so we don't get all bound up. Pumps. Always make sure you look at this pump drive. Make sure the splines are good. This one's got a lot of life left in it. Well, I wouldn't worry about it. Splines on the pump look really good too. So, well guys, I'm gonna wrap rags and zip tie for stuff I had all the plugs I could put in here. Zip tie rags around all these. Okay, now I can get up high enough to get it in the truck. Can terminated resistors in a 6415 and put the bull-by tube in it. I passed this guy, but I'm going to be turning at the bottom of the hill anyway. Drop a gear there and put the brake on because we're going to be trying to have to pull over here at the bottom of the hill. think I need to put new windshield wipers on this truck. Those things suck. Yeah, we're pulling over right over here. Okay, yeah, we're around here to put these can terminator resistors in. I got to get on the phone here with the hydraulic shop and talk about dropping this thing off tonight. Maybe I can just drop it off in front of the door there, because I ain't gonna be in there by the time they, you know, they ain't gonna be open when I'm done. I'll tell you that. Ugh. A little bit of snow there on that hillside there is just not going away. The rest of it's pretty well gone. But we got another storm right now. It was snowing there for a while where I was at, pulling that pump out of that Wilmar spray rig, but I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it just rains, and I kind of like things to thaw out, and hopefully it doesn't rain too much. It's just now starting to dry out, you know, to where a guy can get around, and hopefully it'll not dump on us too bad. I sure like this 5.9 Cummins in this thing. I tell you, the low end grunt, you know, that thing just pulls. For a little motor, I'm just really impressed with the way that son of a gun just the low end pull on it's just amazing to me for such a small displacement engine. That's where the drawback is on them Power Strokes and stuff. Those V8s take such high RPM to really build any power and really, you know, good bottom end torque. They just don't have it, you know, compared to these little inline sixes. They just don't have the low end power, and in these trucks, that's where you need it. Yeah, we'll come over the hill here and I'll show you where we're going. You'll like this little view here. Oh, puppies. What do you guys think? I know you guys were trapped in the pickup the truck all morning. I'm gonna let you out at the pole barns here and you guys can just go crazy. Just have a blast. See, that's a pretty neat little view there, huh, of the lake and the barns down there where we're going. Hopefully Paige is done and she's got her parked in the barn. I see it sitting in the barn. After I fixed the can wiring yesterday, this tractor yesterday, I went to it and, you know, it was running rough and missing and doing all kinds of goofy things, and the glow plug indicator was flashing, and anyways, long story short, I never could communicate with the ECU in this tractor with my Texa. And I know I've communicated with it before, but I could communicate with the BCU. See, these 6415s have an ECU and a BCU. The BCU is the basic control unit. The ECU is the engine control unit. So these 6415s are kind of a basic, you know, kind of a cheap tractor that all they have is two controllers on them. They've got the BCU and the ECU. The ECU controls the engine, obviously, and the BCU controls the hitch and some of the other things like the mechanical front wheel drive, things like that. And so the can terminators are in between on each end of the circuit for the communication lines for the two controllers. And it's really pretty simple to find these because there's only two controllers, so it makes it pretty damn easy. But I know the Texa unit communicates with the 6415 in the ECUs because I have a customer that has 2 of these tractors, and I've hooked up to them numerous times. So I don't know. I'll show you. I'll pull the. I was looking for the CAN terminators. They were back there on the right-hand side. The BCU controller is in the right-hand console underneath it, and the ECU is right on the. They're in a different spot than they are on the open station tractors. Well, hell, we're already here. I'll show you. But before we do that, turn the lights off there. Pull the diagnostic equipment back over here, so Trouble, when he decides to go absolutely apeshit and jump out of the pickup or truck, that he doesn't jump on top of my laptops, because that pisses me off. Stay here, I'll let you out on that side. Because watch, I just can't. They're nuts. Watch him. Hey, calm down, Trouble. Calm down. Nope. Ah. You guys could come out in an orderly fashion. It would really be nice instead of doing that. Instead of acting like fools. But I know that's impossible. Let's just see here. I'll show you, okay? ECU is back here. See where your data link connector is? Take these 2 bolts out. ECU's back here. But to do what we're gonna do, and I didn't even really fix the wiring yet. I just got it to where they could go with it. Let's see how this thing's running now. Runs pretty smooth. These 6415s, you'll know when you have codes because you'll have the glow plug indicator light on the dash flashing at you, and you know something's actively wrong. When I got here yesterday, it ran like shit and was missing and spitting and coughing, and man, let's pick that up. I don't like trash laying around like that. Even though it's not my ground, I don't like trash laying around like that. So let's get the tripod. Where the hell did I put the tripod? Actually, I think I might have stuck it back here. I did. That's a lot handier than what I'm doing. I gotta figure out where I'm gonna take this big hydrostatic pump to get it. I got a feeling it's gonna have to be rebuilt. Usually when they start leaking like that, it's internal leakage. And it was just so hard to get to, I couldn't really, you know, with the tank being over the top and the way everything was plumbed, I couldn't get to the ports to hook anything into it to test it. It was, so, you know, I already called hydraulic controls down in Reading, and Dan said, if it's leaking the way you're describing it, he said, we're gonna have to take it all apart anyway to reseal everything, so let's just check the internal components while we're there. And if we see things that aren't right, we'll replace them. So that's what we're gonna wind up doing. I need a Phillips screwdriver. Oh shit, I keep forgetting. See, you know, I'm still not used to the new truck yet. I'm still putting shit in here. I don't know where I put everything. Okay. I'll show you the CAN wires where they got. Let's get my flashlight. Something else I forgot. 13 more trips back and forth. Somebody will tell me about how much I walk back and forth and what a screw up I am for walking back and forth too damn much. That's all right. Okay. So what I did on this yesterday, guys, is on the data link connector here, the center peg, which is going to be peg A, that's going to be your ground. And then pin B, is that B? The one straight across from it, this one right here, you should have 12 volt battery power. And on the next pin up, these 2 pins here are CAN high and CAN low. And yesterday, when I took the CAN high and CAN low, before I moved the wiring around, I had 2.9 volts on the can high and I had 2.1 on the can low. Typically on these John Deeres, you'll see about 2.5 on can high, and you'll see like 2.3, 2.4 on the can low. Usually what I see. So I knew right away there was something going on with the can circuit. Let me find the two arms for this operation. And I know some people get grumpy and say stuff about some of my customers have some messy tractors, but I'm going to tell you, I don't care. These guys here are probably about the best people in the world. They really are. Good people. Been dealing with them for years. And so I'm not going to go along with you if you're going to run them down. Yeah, their equipment gets messy, and I'll tell you what, these are some hard-working, busy people right here. The problem is they've probably got way too much for what they've got, for what they've got help with. They just can't keep up with everything that they've got going on, and that's the problem. I mean, these are some of the largest landowners in the county, and they're huge cow guys. Anyways, that being said, they're just good folks, and I'm not gonna partake in running them down about their equipment. They always pay their bills real fast and treat me really well, so look at those. I'll show you right there. Now, let me get the tripod set up right here. This ground wire is on the can, okay? So here, you guys that don't know, this wire, well, this son of a bitch here. Well, I can't get it unplugged. I need a screwdriver or something. But anyway, the yellow and green twisted pair, those are your can lines, can high and can low. The red wire's your screen power, 12-volt power. And then the black is your ground. And these are supposed to be wrapped around those as well. And what those do is prevent magnetic interference. They're the screening lines. So anyway, you can see that the ground wire, the insulation's all gone off of it. And there's 2 or 3 spots on the can wires too where they were back behind this corner post back. Well, there's kind of a corner back in here, and they were touching on that metal. Right there, you can see the insulation's gone. So anyway, we got a couple can terminator resistors we're gonna put in here, and then we're gonna tape those wires up, and we're gonna actually wrap tape on the black wire individually. That way it doesn't ground when we tape all those in a loom there back together. That way the ground doesn't touch the can high and can low wires. So that being said, the other thing we got to fix is I noticed it when I walked around the tractor. Is I noticed engine oil all over the side of the tractor. Oh, this 6415. You got to pop the hood for everything you do on it. I got to tripod to where it'll stand up here. Okay. And I noticed the oil on the side of the block, and I looked over there and I said, the blow-by tube's gone. It's completely gone out of there. So I'll show you what that comprises of. Comprises of this. There's my can terminators and the O-ring and the hose. The hose, they say, is cut to fit. Okay, so obviously the O-ring here. There's the O-ring. O-ring more than likely is going to go around that, where it goes into the valve cover. And then the hose is going to go on the elbow with the clamp right there. Okay, tighten that up and go snap that in there. Let's go see how that's going to fit on there. Maybe let's take a little bit of lube and put on this O-ring here, a little WD-40, so it'll kind of slide in there. Yeah, I saw that one, man. You got to fix that shit. Then we'll run this hose down into the starter, and then we'll just cut it off down on the bottom somewhere to where it's kind of somewhat right. Popped in there. Okay, that's way better. Yeah, look how long that tube is down there. I'll have to cut that off. Let's go ahead and fire it up. Let it run. Well, you know, let's fix the can wiring first. We'll let it run for a little while just to make sure we got her fixed. We got this thing whipped. I don't think there was anything wrong with those. I changed them just because those wires short. I was afraid that maybe it might have got the resistors. Let her warm up. Make sure no codes pop up. Well, got this one whipped. Running good, running nice and smooth. Heat gauge doesn't work on the instrument cluster. These things are notorious for having shitty clusters in them. It needs a cluster in it. Half the digits in the LED display for the heat gauge doesn't do anything over here. I don't know. When they first came out with these 6415s, I know I changed a bunch of instrument clusters. A bunch of them. Maybe the 20 series, they had a bunch of bad clusters in them too. This thing's ready for the races. Well, guys, that's probably all I'm going to video for today. I gotta go down and do a bunch of pickup work. That's what we're going to go do next, I think. I got a hay squeeze for a customer too that he thinks his engine seized, so might be running out there and pulling an engine. I don't know what's going on. We'll see.